Here's some determination by the Supreme Court on the presidential election petition tribunal judgment. The judgment of the Supreme Court in a month or so will bring to finality whether the presidential election petition tribunal was right, that Shettima's alleged double nomination was not proven. My take, the Supreme Court would affirm PEP's position. Number two, whether the PEP was right that the forfeiture of $460,000 by Tinubu pen narcotics trafficking did not contravene Section 137, subsection 1D of the Constitution and therefore not liable to be disqualified. The Supreme Court would affirm PEP's position. Number three, whether it is a must that evidences must also be front-loaded upon filing of petition, else be striked out. The Supreme Court would upturn PEP's position. Number four, whether subpoenaed witnesses and their testimonies being rejected by PEPs claiming they are not witnesses of the court was proper and according to the law. The Supreme Court would upturn PEP's position. Whether as PEP held true any contravention of the INEC regulations, guidelines and manual will not be the ground of challenge of the outcome of the election. The Supreme Court would upturn PEP's position. Whether it is not mandatory as presidential election petition tribunal held that verification of election results must be done by comparing the hard copy results with the result uploaded onto the IREV. The Supreme Court would upturn PEP's position. Number seven, whether as agreed by PEP that the petitioners failed to prove substantial non-compliance that could have resulted in a different outcome in that election. The Supreme Court would upturn PEP's position. Whether FCT Abuja is the 37th state for the purposes of the presidential election as agreed by Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, the Supreme Court would affirm PEP's position. The final commentary, we are strongly confident that the Supreme Court, being the court of law and public policy, unlike Presidential Election Petition Council that dwells only on procedural justice aka technicalities, will apply the principles of substantive justice by considering the merits of the case substantially. That would help drive up public confidence in the judiciary and tone down the literal academic interpretation of our laws. So the final question is by somebody: why do you feel the Supreme Court will uphold the decision of the appellate court on 25% in FCT? That is, if the Supreme Court goes by way of substantive justice than 25% FCT, Abuja being a sine qua non to be president is out of line. Substantive justice demands that each person is treated fairly and equitable, ensuring that their individual circumstances and rights are considered in the legal process. What should be my conclusion? My conclusion is very clear. You see, the courts would definitely go a bizarre way. So I just have a feeling that they would end up supporting Tinubu. But even though they end up supporting Tinubu, there is something I want to say, that Peter Obi has proven beyond imagination that you can challenge a process that is not favored or that is unfavorable to you, and he has done his best. So whatever the Supreme Court or the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal Court did does not change the fact that Tinubu rigged himself into power. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.